Greetings, family. Welcome back to the archives. I'm super excited to have you here. If you're new here, my name is Nuna. I am a seer, a poet, a writer, a witch, the keeper of the archives. Welcome to your new spiritual safe haven. And of course, tribe, I'm always honored, excited, and elated to be in your presence. We're going to be doing a reading today, but we're going to be doing it very differently. And the reason why we're going to be doing it differently is because I want to start introducing a lot more writing to the YouTube space. So I'm going to make this, again, as stated, a reading. However, we are going to be using this as a writing prompt, or we're going to be using tarot as a way to divine information so that we can see what our next writing piece is going to be about. I was so serious about doing this, so serious to the point where I also have my iPad here and I also have my journal here, and I also have a pencil holder. Well, it's a candy holder that I got from Target like a while ago, of a gold skull, and it's got pens and pencils and things of that nature in there. And whatever I feel like I don't want to write down in my iPad, or if I feel like I want to write it down in my notebook, I'm going to do that. But we, again, are going to be doing this in the form of a reading. So this is actually going to be the writing process. Yes, I'm going to be flowing and doing the reading. I may do some pauses or whatnot to write some things down, words that stick out, because you are going to go through the process of creating the next writing piece. And I really want to stay committed to that. I really, really do. I don't know exactly how I'm going to film it yet, but I want you with me every step of the way. This way, I'm keeping up with readings, but I'm also immersing myself in writing at the same time. That way, I'm keeping up with everything. I also have some tea over there to my far right. Let me grab it. This is burdock root and dandelion root as a base, and then inside of the tea bag that I have right here, I actually have what is this? I have some spearmint tea, some spearmints. I have, what else did I put in here? Spearmint red clover blossoms. I have what else did I put in here? Oh, stinging nettle leaf. And there was like one more thing that I put in here, but I can't remember. So anyway, I have not eaten yet. I'm still in the process of fasting because I don't eat until like around, I want to say, what, 2 or 3. I'm starting to put myself on a really strict fasting diet. Well, not diet, but I'm gonna do a lot more fasting because it's been helping me. It's been helping my gut a lot more, and I feel a lot better when I'm fasting. And I'll get into that in another video. It's neither here nor there. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put that down. It's interesting because, real quick, last night my fiance and I had him help me create some tea bags. That way I could have them like easily accessible. I could just go and grab them. And I really enjoy the process of just kind of putting all the teas together. So this is the thing. And it's interesting because this thing I found at the at-home store. It was a candle, and then I burned it, and then we cleaned it all the way out, and now I'm using it for herbs. I love it. Anyways, so that's neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and get into the reading. Thank you so much, Divine, for your divine love and your benevolent protection. Thank you so much for protecting me as I'm in this space. Thank you so much for protecting my soul tribe as they also are here listening and tuning into this message. May they receive what they need. May they reserve what they do not need as a gift for someone else who may need it. I ask that you please again come into this space. I welcome in my guides. I welcome in our guides, our angels, archangels, beings of light who want the best for our highest and our greatest good. I ask that you please give me the messages and the downloads that I need to create the next writing piece that can be given to my soul tribe. What is it that this next writing piece can be about, that we can anchor ourselves to, that we can truly write to? May this be the beginning of that process, and may my soul tribe decide, if they wish to, that they remain throughout the process as we grow and evolve. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so glad. I'm honored. I'm grateful. Thank you so much for giving me another chance at improving myself, improving my life, and improving how I show up for my soul tribe, as I know that they too needs someone there with them as well. Please remind them that they are not alone, and please remind them that they are loved no matter what. It is so. All right, so it looks like we have the first 4 cards that came out here. The first card to come out was a Hangman. The second card was a 3 of Wands. The third card was the Lover's card in reverse, and then you have the Page of Swords. The word that I just heard was uncompromising. Uncompromising was the word that came through. I need to write that word down. So let me get this my iPad real quick. The word was uncompromising. The word was uncompromising. I should probably write down the cards, but I can always just refer back to the video, so I'm not really worried about that. But the word was uncompromising. And I'm hearing the words like speak to that, like speak to what you're uncompromising about. And it's interesting because I almost kind of get a feeling like with the Page of Swords here, it makes me feel like someone is fairly new to speaking their truth without feeling judged by this, or speaking their truth, regardless of what plays out or not. And like, that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting with this. It's one of those things where you are learning how to simply speak the truth without the fear of things not working out. Instead, you say, I allow myself to speak my truth, to speak the truth, because I know that it's coming from a divine place, and I will hang tight. I will step back and allow things to play out as they are, because I know that by me making this choice, I know that things will either come together or fall apart. I'm also hearing that there's someone here who, as a result of them speaking their truth, they may have, or because they are speaking their truth now, in the past, they had a really hard time speaking that truth. And it's so interesting because usually when I'm doing readings, I'm very confident in what I'm saying, but I almost kind of feel like I'm like hesitant to kind of say anything. And this gives me the feeling of hesitancy. So I need to write that word down, hesitancy. And it's interesting because it makes me feel like someone in the past just was not used to speaking how they felt because they were afraid that things would not work out. They were constantly second guessing their choices. I can't get this right. Hang on, you guys. Let me write down. There we go. Second guessing. So it's almost kind of making me feel with these cards here, especially with the 3 of Wands coming out. It's one of those things where you just watch and you wait. Like you speak the truth and you watch and you wait. And you don't intervene or try to control how people feel, how people see you. It's just that truth. Because what you do when you speak your truth is that you allow the universe to align. And sometimes alignment does not look like things coming together. Sometimes alignment looks like things falling apart, but it's such a blessing. The reason why it's a blessing is because when you start speaking your truth, you really start to see who is really meant to be around you and who you're meant to be around. Because the same way you have a truth, other people have a truth. And if we're constantly lying and like being deceptive or we're deceiving, right, then you rob people of a chance to experience the life that they want to live, right? So I don't know why this is coming up as like a selfish gain, but it's almost kind of like the words is like non-ill intent. So it almost makes me feel like if you were someone, or if you were around someone who was deceptive, ask yourself, why were they deceptive? Like, because 9 times out of 10, they were being deceptive because they wanted to do what they wanted to do without feeling like they would be shamed for it. They wanted to speak their truth, but they were afraid of the judgment that would come with that. And it's interesting because I feel like the Hangman here is reminding you that instead of you immersing yourself into any kind of judgment, what you could do is allow yourself to speak your truth and just allow yourself to and pull back from it. You say it and you pull back, because the pulling back is you saying, I realize that I don't have control over this and I don't want to have control over this. Instead, divine, I'm allowing you to take care of that. I'm allowing you to even these things out because I know that the energy here is present. I may not be able to see it and, in physical form because energy is going to, it's energy. But at the same time, what I'm feeling is like spirit is like, I just really want you to speak up and say it and not worry about what the outcome is. Because if you trust and you know for a fact that no matter what happens, that you will be okay, then speak your truth because no matter what, you will be okay. The word is survival. And yes, everyone, I'm actually writing these words down. Like I'm actually writing these. Oh, look at that. You can see my camera. Cool beans. Anyways, I'm really writing these down. Like truly, truly. And it's interesting because with survival, it's almost kind of like the vibe or the feeling. Oh, look at that. Look at that. The devil card is here. Wow. The devil is here. So was the Five of Pentacles. This is what it was. The devil card. Wow. Okay. Oh, look at that. Exactly. You have the Emperor card. That's so funny because I thought about Judgment earlier and it came out. There's no way. There's no way. You have Judgment here as well. And you have the Sun card. And you also do have the Temperance card. The word, okay, so the word that I heard with the Temperance card was steadfast. Steadfast. And it does give me strong Taurus energy, which is interesting because traditionally the Temperance card is not it's not a Taurus card. In fact, it's actually a Sagittarian card because it connects to the guru, and that's what it is. Because when you start to speak that truth, you allow yourself to tap into this inner guru, right? I'm going to write that down. Inner guru. I'm going to write down truth. Okay. And it's one of those things too, especially the fact that you have the Emperor card, the Sun card, the Temperance card, right? And as a matter of fact, let me move these because I need these to be in a certain order. That way I can read them in a certain way. I know I'm being like a little nitpicky right now, but trust me. No, this needs to be right here. There we go. Okay, so this is how I can better read the energy. I don't know why I need it to be this way, but I'm just going to honor that. So basically what I'm also feeling too is that with the Emperor card, it's one of those things where it says, I'm going to stand on my own. And I know that I can trust myself to be so rooted and grounded in this truth. And I know for a fact that this has something to do with this Mercury retrograde. The fact that Mercury retrograde is going on right now, this isn't a time for you to necessarily be quiet about what you want, your wishes or desires. It's one of those moments where you say, even in the face of judgment, I will speak my truth. Even in the face of judgment, I will speak my truth. And it's one of those things where you were probably someone that hid themselves a lot. You were probably someone that decided to keep the peace over arguments or over discombobulation or over, I don't know why the word is like decomposition or over destruction. It's like you avoided the breakdown. But what happened in your life was that you ended up kind of deteriorating, or the things around you kept rapidly deteriorating, whether it be your relationships. And this is a really strong relationship focus. It played out in your relationships. But what Spirit is saying is that when you start speaking that truth and you honor it, and it's coming from a pure place and it's coming from a steadfast place where you're allowing yourself to be rooted and anchored and be in tune with divine truth, that is how you know that it is for a good cause. That is how you know that this is, I don't know why the word is like this is meant to be. What I want to also mention is that with the double card here, it's one of those things where when this is coming up as like deceit, like the devil card is for whatever reason is coming up as deceit. It's almost kind of like this choice. You know you shouldn't be doing this. You know that you would be better off not doing it because of the consequence that comes with that. But you can't help it because you feel like this is the safest way, right? Like secrecy is like the safest way. Not being honest about yourself is the safest way to go because it prevents you from having to survive. But what Spirit is trying to get you to see is that it's really all an illusion. Like anything, and it's so interesting that I'm saying it this way because the way that it's coming out right now and the way that Spirit is saying is like the danger, this is an illusion. And it's unfortunate that when you were younger, you went through these situations where you couldn't express yourself fully, where you couldn't be honest about the things that you loved, the things that you cared about, where you couldn't be honest about, what you needed, right? Because people would not understand you. But at the same time, they're saying now is like, now that you're an adult, now that you have the power, all else is really just an illusion. It's really just you constantly replaying the same things over and over and over from what happened in your past life. For some of you, this is a past life thing that you had to deal with. Like literally, you were in another body before you came to this one. For some of you, it was your past, meaning your childhood, your young adult years, and then your average, well, not average adult years, but like your 30s. For some of you, you may be in your 40s or your 50s or even your 60s. I don't know who's listening to this, but there are people on this planet, and and this is bringing me to eldership too, because I should write that down. Eldership. It's bringing me to eldership, where it's like, even in your elderhood, even in the ages of there, whether you're like 60, 70, 80, it's like what I'm hearing someone say is like, if I could go back and redo things in my life, it would be that I would speak my truth more. It would be that I told people more of how I felt. I would express how much I truly did love them. I wouldn't work so hard at being what I thought people needed me to be, but I would have just been myself. And that's exactly what I hear someone saying, is that I wish I would have spent more time being honest. I just feel like honesty. And this makes me feel like someone really did not have any negative intentions. Like maybe they lied because they just felt like they didn't want to hurt anyone. And it's so unfortunate, because it's like they know that they shouldn't have, but because they care so much, they didn't know the difference between like actually helping and honoring that person by being honest, and hindering themselves and hurting them by being deceitful. And it's like in their head they thought, okay, I'm protecting them by lying. No, sweetie, you're hurting them by lying. You help them grow by being honest. So this is a matter of honesty. No matter what happens in your life, I want you to always be honest, because when you are, you help to liberate people. It's not like one of those things where it's some dramatic thing where I can't remember what happened, but I think there was like a story where like someone was like captured or something like that. I can't remember. Don't quote me on it. It was something about where, I guess, I don't know if it was like a president or something like that. You guys, I'm terrible with things like this, but I think it was someone that got captured by like another not another country, yeah, like another country of whatever, or soldiers or whatever, and then they ended up like lying about, they were giving names, but the names that they were giving were like basketball players or like football players or something like that. I don't remember. If you guys know what I'm talking about, let me know down in the comment section. But anyway, it's not one of those things where this is what you have to do. Like you're literally in survival, where it's like, okay, if I say this, I'm gonna risk everybody just kind of perishing or whatever. Like it's not one of those dramatic things, right? Like at that point, you do what you feel like you need to do. But even in those moments, it's so funny, because I'm being given a direction here. It's like, even in those moments, there's always another way. There's always another way. And that is what the guru understands, is that there is always another way. No matter what anyone says, no matter what anyone does, there is always another way. And it's bringing me to Aang from Avatar, The Last Airbender, where instead of him killing off the Phoenix King, what he ended up doing was he confiscated his power, and he was he was forced to be without his power. So he felt nothing apparently without his power. And so the Temperance card here is a reminder that there is always another way. Always. And that is the power of this reading, is that there is always another way. I need to write that down, because that's like a chant. There is always another way. And that's another thing too that's coming up with this Lovers card in reverse here, is that you don't have to be pushed or allow yourself to be pushed into the wall saying you have to make this choice or that choice. No, you make the best choice that is most in alignment. And I feel like when you make choices out of alignment, that is how you start to reclaim your power. That is how you start to embrace the magnitude of who you are. Okay? This is Aries energy. This is Aries energy, but when it's grounded, when it's practical, when it's exalted. The Emperor card is Mars and Capricorn. Mars is exalted, I believe, in Capricorn, because It understands that I can be ambitious. I can be explorative. I can be in my power, but then it's long lasting. It's not short winded. It's not anything that will last for just like a few moments. No, this is long lasting. This is legacy. And I am willing to receive the crown, but with integrity. This is you understanding that through truth and through the acceptance of truth and that finding another way, that this is how you get the crown. You get the crown through honesty. You are being crowned because you learned a lesson about honesty, showing up. Because when you do that, people, they start to trust you more. You rebuild the trust because this has everything to do with trusting and knowing that no matter what, that as long as you choose honesty, as long as you speak your truth, no matter what happens, it will always be divine. That is what I'm feeling. Yes, there were moments where you were afraid of being discarded or outcasted or rejected or humiliated. This is coming up as humiliation for me for whatever reason. The Five of Pentacles is coming up as humiliation. But what I want to say though is that even with this, Spirit says, I understand. I want you to sit with this. I want you to sit with the humiliation. I want you to sit with the uncomfortable feelings. I want you to sit with the feeling alone. I want you to sit with the betrayal that you felt or that you bestowed upon someone else. And I want you to ask yourself, is this really what you see for your future? Is this really what you want for your future? Three of Wands here. If this is not what you want for your future, then I need you to choose otherwise and know that no matter what, that the choices you make can allow you to live the best life possible. The word is stillness. Be still within yourself. Calm yourself. Breathe in deeply. Allow yourself to breathe all the way into your womb space, all the way into your stomach space. You want to breathe it in. You want to feel it in your core. That's what you want to feel. Because a Temperance card says, before you speak, I want you to breathe. I want you to breathe. Speak before you breathe. I'm sorry, breathe before you speak. And some people speak before they breathe. So I'm not even going to take that out because some people speak before they breathe. And then you trip over your words, you trip over yourself, you start to get fidgety. It's because your body is looking for relaxation, comfort, and regulation in that moment. Right? And so before you start to speak, just breathe. You're not in survival. You are safe. You are safe to speak your truth. I don't know why I'm hearing Spirit say that lying was a vice for somebody. This is not going to, resonate with everybody, and I'm okay with that. But if you're someone that, wasn't doing the lying or whatnot, again, you may know someone that's like that. But now you're starting to gain more understanding. You're gaining a lot more clarity. Clarity is 100% on the way. And now I feel like you're moving on, like you've graduated somehow. Like there's some type of graduation. That makes a lot of sense, especially for certain people around me. It feels like a graduation. I'm going to go ahead and pull from, oh, wow. Okay. Starting over, the Snake and Fern. Starting over. This is your clean slate right now. This is your clean slate. The fact that the snake looks white, I think, well, it's got like this tan color because of the cards, but yes. Starting over. Exactly. You shed the skin. Now it's time for you to start over. You can start over. Look at that. The rooster and sunflower. Communication. Exactly. You're learning how to communicate better with yourself and with others through truth and clarity. I see this Page of Swords graduating. I don't see it as being just a Page of Swords anymore. Okay, we're just going to do a few more Oracle cards. Okay. Is that it for this deck? Yeah, Spirit is saying that that's it for this deck. I'm going to put this one off to the side. And then, because we're at 25 minutes, and I don't want this reading to be too long. Again, we were writing down some ideas. I'm going to take pictures of this as well, and of the cards. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put the, after the writing piece is done, we're going to put it on Substack, and then I'm going to come back and I think, or I might record the writing process. I'm not really sure how to do that just yet, but we're going to figure it out, because as stated, we do want to do a writing piece with this. Oh, okay. Cleaning house, releasing emotional baggage. That makes so much sense. Look at that. You have the frog spirit here. Love it. It feels like a new emotional, like emotionally clean slate. The girl knight, romance, illusion, seeking the sacred. I love that. Um, Links to the cards that I'm using will be down below in the description box. I cleaned up my description box, by the way. I don't know if y'all peeped that in the last video, but yeah, I definitely cleaned it up a lot. Yes, anyway, so romance, illusion, seeking the sacred. I feel like now that you've learned the value of truth telling, birth, rebirth, exactly. You cannot make this up. You are new. You are so new. And this is a fresh start. And how much do you want to bet that your relationships are going to get so much better? And for those of you that are like, Nuna, I don't lie to people, so this is not resonating. Listen, honey, I understand that you don't lie to people, but I also I don't want to challenge you, but I want to say that when you look at it from a different perspective, think about the times where you withheld the truth or you just didn't say anything at all, because that is a form of silencing. And spirit is saying that this is not a stage in your life where you want to silence yourself at all, because you chose silence over speaking the truth. And that in itself was a betrayal. And spirit is calling that out. And I say that with the utmost respect, firmness, rootedness, and groundedness. I'm just going to be honest with you. If it's one thing that I'm not going to do, it's fluff a reading at all for anybody. And if people don't resonate with the readings that I do here on this channel, I'm okay with that. There's other channels. There's several other channels. There's like millions of videos being uploaded per day on YouTube. Manifesting dreams, water spirit. Okay, so you've got water here. I just heard water rights, cleansing rights. It's time. Transcending. This has a lot to do with Pegasus may be something for you now. It may be calling out to you for whatever reason. I'm going to read out of that book, actually. There may be something that we can... okay, you also have letting go here that I just kind of looked at. Letting go. Okay, and then one more. I'm going to read the Pegasus card, because I feel like there's something in there. Okay, I don't think those are yours. Okay, what is this? Magic. Okay, I'll take it. Magic. Yeah, I feel like the magic is in the honesty. You guys, the light is like shifting right now because of what's going on like outside. It's, the sun and whatnot. Y'all know, they're playing around with time and all that, so things change. Anyway, so where's the booklet? Wait, where's the booklet? Oh yeah, okay. So we're gonna read off Pegasus, because I feel like there's something with Pegasus that you may need to hear. What number is Pegasus? Pegasus is number 28. Okay. Oh, here we go. Pegasus. Okay. Grab hold of the name. Pegasus is leaping into the sky with you on his back. You can feel the wind rush by as this winged horse climbs higher and higher, his muscles rippling beneath you. You are keenly aware of his majesty, strength, and power as you are brought closer and closer to the heavens. I feel like you're learning to transcend beyond your pain and your suffering by telling the truth. You are transcending beyond pain and suffering and remembering who you are by speaking your truth. The Saiyonan way is to transcend beyond on pain and suffering while on the path of remembrance. That is what the Saiyonan Path is all about, and that is what I'm teaching, and that is what I will stick to. each and every last moment. I will teach that. Your intuition will always lead you to the right reasoning. And this is about you transcending beyond it all, transcending beyond the belief that you yourself are not worthy to speak your truth. Baby, you are worthy of that. And it's just simply something you're meant to do while you're being here on this earth. You don't have to ask permission to tell the truth. You don't need permission from anybody to express how you feel and what you need. You don't have to do that. One day when I'm on stage, I'm going to come back to this and I'm going to put it on stage. I'm going to say, remember when we did that one reading on YouTube? Allow me to be delusional for a second. Okay, you guys, just let me be delusional. I'm going to be on stage performing my poetry. And then I'm going to say, I remember this one time where we did a reading on YouTube. And I remember I'll come back to this moment. I'll say, remember when we talked about telling the truth? Well, here's a little story. Let's see if it plays out that way, right? Okay, anyways. Okay. So history is replete with myths and legends of a winged horse, the protector of the soul. The Pegasus represents the immortality of your spirit and the journey to the heavens. The appearance of this card is a sign. Get ready for a dramatic activation of your spiritual journey. A powerful transformation is at hand. Great things are possible in your life. Prepare yourself to fly above adversity. The Pegasus ride above the earthly realms offers a higher celestial perspective. Take time to meditate, and profound insights about your life will be revealed. You are asked to see the situation at hand from a higher perspective. Step away from the drama and emotional manipulation of others. Some stories describe that where his hooves strike the earth, new springs emerge. Oh, I love that. Life begins anew. Oh my God, you cannot make this up. What does this card say? Where is that card at? Look at this. Oh my God. That's what this says. Starting over. Like starting over. Communication. Wow. And you have really loud yellow energy here. Yellow energy is yellow is very spiritual, spiritually expressive. Start expressing that spiritual truth, please. And thank you. Okay. In Greek mythology, Pegasus activates and befriends the 9 muses who inspire creativity, liberal arts, music, science, poetry, and visual arts. Hence, Pegasus is symbolic of creativity. The message here is to focus on the incredible creativity, vitality, and spiritual awakening within you. The spirit of the Pegasus says, you're on a pilgrimage of the soul. It's time to transcend the weight of earthly burdens. Fly over situations that have been pulling you down. Don't involve yourself with the drama of others. When you remember that you have come from spirit and are eternal, challenging situations will resolve. A profound transformation is at hand. You are learning how to rise above the suffering because the truth is setting you free. And with that, the sun comes out, and that's it. The sun has come back out. I love it. I love it. This is concluding our reading. I lthis has been so great. I'm going to sit and I'm going to anchor myself to this because how amazing was it that we got through this and we realize that it's okay for us to speak our truth. And it's okay for us to transcend beyond it all. It's okay for us to transcend beyond the idea that we have to limit ourselves to certain things. Like your consciousness is expanding so very vibrantly and loud. Like it's so beautiful and it's going to start showing. The Emperor card is fire energy. Sun card is fiery energy. Rebirth. You're rebirthing, right? The sunflower here. You have some strong sun-like energy. I feel like the energy that's coming to you, you could very well be an air sign, or you can have a lot of air sign qualities to you, or like a lot of air qualities to you. And with the water spirit, let's not forget that the manifesting dreams. Now I feel like your dreams are going to start coming out more, or you're going to start manifesting more of your dreams and the things that you want as a result of you speaking your truth. Because think about it. You can't get what you want if you're not honest about what you want. Okay. I'm going to go start writing. I'm going to go sit with that actually. And, I'm actually going to be yeah, like I said, I'm gonna go start that process. I don't know how I'm gonna film this. I have to think about it. I know that this is the starts, and I'm really glad that we are having this discussion, this conversation. How do you like the setup? Do you guys like this? I'm back in the office. At first, I was in the living room, but now I'm back in the office. Do you like it? I feel like if I were to work with any type of candle or oil, because y'all know that I weave the Etherium into everything, if I were gonna work my magic, it would be about speaking the truth. Like, speak your truth. And I feel like I want to create something in the Ethereum where where you lean, not lean on, but you really help yourself to dive into speaking the truth, your authentic truth. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to name this candle yet. I don't know what the color is going to be, but I feel like I want it to be blue and yellow. I think that would be so amazing, but either blue or yellow or both. I'm not really sure. We'll see what spirit says for me to do. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Work with lavender right now because lavender does help. Lavender does connect to Mercury. Mercury is really good for that. I also will probably put in, like, in the writing aspect of it, because we're going to do the writing piece and it's going to go on Substack. So I'm going to put all things in there, rituals and things like that, more than likely in the writing piece. So this is going to take a little bit. This writing piece may or may not take a couple of weeks. I'm not sure. I'm hoping not, though. Maybe a few days. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'm feeling a little bit froggish. Maybe it'll be done today. I don't know. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening to this message. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you need anything from me, please feel free to visit me online over at the Saiyonanpath.org. You can also find me on Instagram over at the Saiyonan Path. Make sure that you're following me on Substack, where you can get more in-depth writings and you can see my writing pieces for yourself, my poetry and things like that, because not only am I a poet, a seer, well, not only am I a seer and a witch, I'm also a writer and a poet. So do not sleep on my poetry. Please don't. I love you very much. Thank you for subscribing. Take care, and I'll catch you in my next video.